layer. And then remains of the members of the family are put in a second layer. And they're all buried in part of the chapel below the marble tombstone. Now the marble plaques on the wall read the names of all of them. I read the names. The one on the left wall reads the name of the king and Felix's son Alexis. And it doesn't have a line buried because his remains were never found. The next one, the one in the corner on the left, reads the name of the oldest daughter, Olga. The next one, the next one reads the name of the youngest sister, Tatiana. The third one reads the name of the son of Nicholas II. The fourth one, of his wife, Empress Alexandra. The next one, of the younger sister or daughter, Maria. And it now, the age of this place, of this cathedral, to 1733. The design belongs to the Swiss-Italian architect Trezzini. The style of the decoration is known as the Northern Baroque style. Since the time of the persons in the first row are Peter I, the first one by the wall. The middle burial is his second wife, Catherine I. And the third person is their daughter, Empress Elizabeth. The three individuals in the second row, the one by the window, is a niece of Tsar Peter, Empress Anna Ioannovna. And the third one is a wife of Peter III, Catherine II, who is also known as Catherine the Great. So take a couple of moments to view it, and then move back to the middle. Спасибо большое.
Claude. Echt? Das mache ich auch noch.
Members of the family with the title Grand Duke, Grand Duchess. Tombstones like the one by the blue scaffolding. So the swords and government eagles take the places of the rulers. So the tombstone by the blue scaffolding is a burial place of the father of Nicholas II, the last but one ruler of the Russian Empire, the Emperor Alexander III. And he was the husband of the Empress Maria Feodorovna, who died in Denmark. So the space behind the scaffolding is being prepared for the burial of the Empress Maria Feodorovna. Now here with you two most beautiful. Just look across the passage to view a few more burial places. And then stay together for the exit. We're walking back to the bus.
Mèo rất tùm lum tùm. Rồi ba đúng rồi.
Now we leave
Cái này là Saint Peterburg.
Cathedral.
This, looking to left. And of course, looking back across the river, you can view the Peterburg fortress. That's where we're coming from. And you get a fantastic overview of the cathedral. And look, you can view 4 of the 5 Hermitage buildings. The first 4 buildings from the bridge are part of the Hermitage Museum. And this magnificent dark green and white color building with the statues on the roof. And then comes a yellow building, which is the big Hermitage. And then one more green color building is the Hermitage Theatre. But you will be driving around this area a couple of more times. Then you'll have more time to memorize all the details. And of course, now looking at the coldest part of St. Petersburg. Well, again, looking across the river, across the bridge, you can view the 2 original lighthouses for the news of the port. So that part of the island was the early port of St. Petersburg. And it was also the first administration center of St. Petersburg. So the builder Prince Menshikov, and he was also a close friend and associate of Tsar Peter. And further down the river comes a most elegant light cream color building under a silver roof. That's the Arts Academy. It's Neva. And we are driving down the floor of the Neva. And the bridge ahead of the bus, that's the first bridge from the Gulf of Finland. Actually, this is where the Neva ends. So the water past the bridge is the Gulf of Finland, or the Baltic Sea. And looking to left, again, you get a wonderful sight. It's very, very impressive, isn't it? Well, along with the buildings and the statue, along with the church and the statue, you can see a little place for the universe to come after the ceremony for a picture and for some champagne. And the statue in the middle of the square is the founder of St. Petersburg, Tsar Peter I.
Trong sách đó, trong cái tờ giấy của anh có.
The pedestal for the statue is a one-piece rock.
Bảo làm cái này cho ổng, cái bà vợ.
Weighs 200 tons. Made in shape of a breaking wave. It points to Peter's obsession with our national poet Pushkin named the statue Bronze Horseman. So that's the bronze horseman. And this magnificent yellow building on the right-hand side, that's the former to walk around, to stretch our legs.
Phải đi theo bà đọc nghe bà nói.
Newlywed gathering.
Wow, there's a lot of newlyweds here.
This angle, you see the church and the trees. So planning your picture taking. Planning your pictures taking. This is one of the best angles of St. Isaac. Along with the church.
Look at me. Look at me.
Especially.
Vậy hết nhận không?
Literary, the raid. You like it so far?
Yes, very good.
Better.
What is Russian name for good? Okay. Russian for good.
I don't care.
What? For what?
You will forget the way before you get home.
Italian, they say andiamo. Let's go. Andiamo.
Yeah.
I didn't forget that word.
No. Peter the Ray.
Yeah.
요 TV. 얼른 와.
나는 이거 잘 찍어줘야지.
잘 찍어줘야 돼. 저 아저씨가 있어. 782 đó, có đặt cái tượng này cho ổng nè.
Peter the Ray. They act like Peter Ray and Catherine. Isaac. Patiro. Isaac, the oldest church in Russia.
Common car,
Lada,
and that's a car
1961.
that people can afford. No, some people can afford a higher price car. And from the point of view of availability,
1961.
nowadays, as long as you have money, you can choose any car you want. And nowadays we are no longer one car, and we have lots of poor people. And a most prestigious car among the wealthy individuals is Mercedes car. Mercedes car. If you want to show you are in the right job with the right places like Vladivostok, they wouldn't pay a kopeck for a German-made car. They would rather invest their money in buying a Japanese car because it's proved being very reliable and well, it's also nice. It's a very important site of St. Petersburg. It's the spire decorating this tower shape of the Admiralty. That's a very important symbol of St. Petersburg. Actually, looking at a distance at the spire of the Admiralty, it's now from the point of view of the outlay of the city, the Admiralty building on the left-hand side is the two center squares around the Admiralty are Senate Square, where we just stopped for EVSKY Prospect on the right-hand side. Now get impressed. We're now driving across Palace Square. Isn't this impressive? No, very powerful. Now looking to your right, you can see a magnificent yellow and white color building with an arch in the middle. That's the former General Staff headquarters. And the column in the middle of the square is Alexander Column. That's a memorial to the victory over Napoleon in 1812. And we're driving around the Winter Palace.
Window Palace.
So the deep green and white color building,
Window.
that's the Winter Palace. And it's part of the Hermitage nowadays.
Inside.
So now we'll be driving along part of the Hermitage. We're now driving past the Winter Palace. So the original winter residence of the 9th generation of the Romanovs. Next to it, this small building with scaffoldings, that's this small hermitage. This yellow colored building is an addition called Big Hermitage. Look to right and view the Winter Canal. A lovely canal on the right. Green colored building, that's also part of the Hermitage, known as the Hermitage Theatre. We're driving up the flow of the Niva River. So we pronounce the name of the main river Niva. Niva.
Niva.
The English say Niva.
Geneva.
We say Niva.
Oh, Niva.
We're driving up the flow.
N-E-V-A.
And this is the widest part of
Oh,
Niva.
Geneva.
So the bridge
Oh,
was
longest
very
bridge.
handsome. It's got most tasteful, handsome railing and the lanterns.
Longest bridge.
A very handsome granite base. And the inside of the building, the numerous rooms of the palace are faced with among them was Gregory Orlov. Yeah. Okay, we're going to stop here. This is, by looking to the left, you can see the summer garden of Peter I. The numerous marble statues. And the park on the right-hand side is the Field of Mars. Originally, the Romanov rulers used it for military parades. Here's the name, the Field of Mars. And look at your right, middle of the square, has half a year after they had taken over, Russia had a civil war. It lasted 3 years and took lives of almost 10 million individuals. So the cemetery in the middle of the Field of Mars is the early memorial to the supporters of Bolsheviks. Okay, and now a few things about the church. So this says the official name of the church is the Church of Christ Resurrected. The common name is the Church of Christ Resurrected. The unofficial name, common name, is Savior's Church on the Spilled Blood. Okay, and let's take 7 minutes. You know, we believe it's a very lucky number.
Nó đâu rít như vậy?
Anh ra anh đứng chụp cái thành đó, em chụp cho thấy có cái language Nga đây, tiếng Nga đó.
Chụp ở đây này. Các bạn.
Cái đó nó trong mấy cái mà travel agency đó nó chụp cái. There might be some significance to it.
So we have viewed selected.
Savior Church.
A common name is Savior's Church on the Spilled Blood. Okay, that's a place we're going to visit tomorrow.
Wow.
Savior's Church on the Potatoes. Maybe I'll comment on more on the official names of St. Petersburg. So St. Petersburg is the original name given to it by its founder Peter I. Close approaches of St. Petersburg, and then the ruler Nicholas II, he chose to change the Germanic sounding name St. Petersburg for a Russian name, Petrograd. For 10 years, this was called Petrograd. The word grad, G-R-A-D, means city. Several other leaders, they suggested they were bringing people superior morals and ideas. So the powerful, the huge Soviet Empire fell, the USSR fell in 1991. So
So the last 15 years have been a period of most traumatic life experiences for the individuals in Russia. But anyway, in the early period of all the changes that followed the fall of the USSR, people were euphoric about possible quick changes. The newly elected mayor of St. Petersburg, Mr. Sobchak, initiated a referendum maybe 20 years ago, yes, yeah, about 20 years ago, and by the mid-80s, the population of the city had grown up to being over 5 million. But then, in a period of all the changes after the fall of the USSR, the population had been dropping down. In the last 15 years, the death rate in a small rural area, and for the reasons of properties being very high price in St. Petersburg, and for the reasons of difficulty of finding a well-paid job, and for the reason of the government paying very small allowances on birth of children, the young couples have been choosing not to have big families. Later on, I'll give you more comments about the living standards of individuals. At the moment, an important thing to mention at the moment is that very few individuals live in the center, and we are in the center. Too high price, not affordable, or too low standard. Not many of us live in the center. Nevsky Prospect, Nevsky. A large department store on the left-hand side.
Oh,
This yellow and white color building with the arcades, that's the oldest and the biggest department store. And it has a big courtyard in the middle. Originally it was a caravan for merchants.
in Russia.
It's called Gostinny
Russia.
Dvor. It means merchant's yard. I look to your right. The block on the right is the Grand Hotel Europe. It's been a hotel for more than 200 years. Nowadays, the oldest, the most elegant, and the most expensive hotel in St. Petersburg. The Grand Hotel Europe. And look, is a grey granite building with a globe at the top. That's the original Singer sewing machine company. Singer. Most elegant building of the turn of the century. It's modern style of the 1900s. And it reads Singer Company. Singer Company. And when the traffic lights change and we start moving, keep your eyes open, lost to sea. You know, when we start moving from a bridge, you'll get a wonderful overview of the Saviour's Church on the Spielberg. Look, are you enjoying it?
Yeah. Ooh.
Look to your left. Look to your left. One more. Wow, side. This reminds, this colonnade makes you think of St. Peter's in Rome, doesn't it?
Oh, man.
This is a Russian Orthodox church, actually a cathedral, Kazan Cathedral, K-A-Z-A-N. I would believe that for more than 50 years, at the time of communism, they used this cathedral as a museum of history, of religion and atheism. Commissioned by the Romanov rulers in the 1800s. Now Kazan is the name of a big town in the middle of the Volga River. And this church was built to accommodate a family icon. Look at this lovely pink and white color building on the left-hand side. This is the original palace of the Stroganov family.
Venice on the north. Venice on the north.
Made of beef stroganoff.
Yeah.
This man, the owner of the palace, Count Stroganov, a very, very wealthy chef of Count Stroganov, invented special dishes for his master. Among that, beef stroganoff, sturgeon stroganoff, and a couple of more buildings with all the nice clothes displayed. Interesting, it's been always a very expensive shop for ladies' clothes, including the Soviet period of time. And the communism, it was nicknamed, because of the prices, it was nicknamed Death to Husbands, the shop. Okay, back to Palace Square. Palace Square. The column in the center glorifies or is a memorial to the victory over Napoleon. That's the tallest granite monolith in the world. It weighs 600 tons. Alexander column. And tomorrow afternoon, Peter I never lived in this winter palace. He and people of his days favored something different. An origin architect, Rastrelli. It represents the Russian Baroque. So the style, the architectural style of the winter palace is the Russian Baroque. It's originally a home of the Romanovs, a winter home of the Romanovs. Fact that the art collections of the Hermitage are displayed in the former reception rooms of the Winter Palace. So, along with viewing the art collections, the priceless paintings by the classical Western European artists, you see the rooms, and that's the magnificent inlaid parquet floor. Now in its delta, the Neva, the river Neva, breaks into 6 wide arms, and they accept the arms of the Neva accept numerous tributaries. So the rivers cut off islands. So the city has 44 islands.
44 islands.
So we're now on Vasily Island, and we are driving across an area called the Point of Vasily Island, originally the port of St. Petersburg. So this is the port of this is the original port of St. Petersburg. Now, some of you were asking about those weddings, so many of them we have seen today. People get married any day of the week, not necessarily Saturday. Perhaps it's because the demand to get married is bigger than the number of registers we have. Yeah, but anyway, people get married any time of the week. And stopping in the squares by special beautiful buildings is part of a modern tradition.
Okay, Emil, they don't like it. Let's go to another hotel. I've learned what a polite group are. The people behind me, I can see a sort of slight twitch. Oh, yeah. So if you need water or any bits and pieces, apparently there's a new super.
That's nice.
Phải belong to cái motel này không?
Không, 20 đô.
20 đó đó.
Một ngày. Cái visa đã thiệt, cho nên nó cái anh đấy mới có phải. Hay hả? Thấy không? Sushi bar.
Chỗ này cũng như Âu Châu ấy chứ phải giỡn đâu nha.
Thấy đó. Coi này thấy không? Cái lon xí này. Đẹp chứ?
mà nó làm bị nó không muốn để cá nó mất công đâu, không cho để gì nữa người ta nó cho gì nữa. Ủa có cá chứ có nước. Ồ một bên là cái kia, một bên là cá, cái chia làm hai.
Cá là cái nhỏ thôi. Xuống được tép. Dragon fish. Thấy không? Có đủ thứ blue room rồi. Aqua Park nè. Nãy đi đâu ta? Nãy đi Aqua Park. Đây. Đây không ta?
Dậy đó tụi nhỏ
Dạ ơi.
dậy á.
Dạ ơi.
Nó dậy tập thể thao đó chú ba.
Bơi làm sao gì? Dạ ơi.
Nó làm aerobic dưới nước đó chứ.
Mấy tụi Nga nó đẹp hơn Mỹ nữa. Không có mập như Mỹ ha.
Cũng mập chứ nha, thì ba được nha.
Không sao đẹp, nó làm cái bách dở quá. Làm mấy này cũng dở nè. Ai mà lấy này không? Lập cái marble granite này kia, làm này sao?
Marble cái này đá mài. Đá mà giống Việt Nam á, giống cái cầu thang nhà em ở Việt Nam này. Đá như vậy là xưa rồi, cái kiểu gì là xưa rồi.
Thể thao thôi.
Chắc tùy theo giá, tùy theo cái gì.
You go tonight? You go tonight?
We're going.
Go.
You're not going?
Huh?
You're going?
Yeah.
Yeah, come.
Yeah, come
wait
in.
for me.
Yeah, I will have wait for you. Kìa bả bà còn mà.
Nói là anh muốn lên lầu lấy bình nước không? Không cần hả? Chứ không có nước lát nữa anh ông đi sau mình là anh thấy không? Đó.
Rồi ông đi. Ông Thế ông Tương thì ai cái áo cắm bình không?
Nhiều cái tay chân cũng bị bệt ông ơi. Là gì anh hiểu không? Tay hiểu không anh?
Không phải tiếng Nga đâu.
Không, tiếng mà em mà Masu Baraka mà nói gì?
Masu
Baraka là lại đây á.
Phải sướng chứ. Để đi bỏ tiền ra mình đi chơi gì trong này nó xuống. Nhưng mà bà tổ chức nhiều tour đây cũng có lý tại nhiều cụ coi quá.
Nhiều thứ coi quá đâu có đi hết.
Làm lại mấy dẫn chỗ khác chứ dưới kia mấy kia thất vọng.
Thì đừng có đứng dậy tại vì qua tới bridge nó thấp á, nó bị ấy. Nó bị
gì?
rồi cái thằng đó nó đứng dậy đi qua cái cầu nó đứng dậy. Cái rồi ngày hôm sau nó bị black eye. Thì ngày hôm sau người ta mới hỏi nó, mà mọi người trên tàu hỏi nó là how's everything đúng không? Anh lại kia đúng là câu lại.
I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna take a picture.
I laughed so hard he popped down.
That's it. I'm gonna take my jacket off.
Yeah, you do think it's keep your hands up.
Just done one thing.
Moika. M-O-I-K-A, Moika, which means clean, clear water. It must have been clean when named the Moika 300 years ago. Offices, palaces and mansions. You know, St. Petersburg has always been one of the biggest education centers of Russia. Look at your right, you can see a park, a gate, and a yellow and white color building across the park on the right hand side. That's one of the oldest educational establishments in St. Petersburg. It's 250 years old, and it is ornate balconies made of cast iron. This is the original palace of the Stroganov family. So the pink and white color building on the right hand side, this is the Count Stroganov's palace. They were among the wealthiest families in Russia. And they were so wealthy that the Russian language introduced a saying, one cannot be wealthier than Stroganov. Now we're sitting under one of the oldest bridges. This bridge, called the Green Bridge, is part of the main avenue, part of Nevsky Prospect. Now, St. Petersburg has 69 rivers and canals. The banks of the 69 rivers are spanned by more than 300 bridges. On the bridges, and on the design of the lanterns on the bridges. So the bridges, the decorations of the bridges is beautiful work of art. Well, another special thing about the rivers of St. Petersburg is the granite on its banks. And it's beautiful by the back of the former General Staff headquarters. And looking ahead, you can see a lovely, lovely bridge. It's called the Singing Bridge. I mean, its Russian name is Pevchesky Most, which looks lace, looks like lace. And after we journey to the palace square, it's one of the loveliest. Now we are leaving the Moika River and making a turn into the Winter Canal. And that's one of a few man-made canals. Mr. Victor, watch your head. Watch your head. Light green color building with a yellow section in it. This is the Hermitage Theatre, and the yellow section on its right side is the remnants of the original Peter I Winter Palace.
Stand up, look. Oh, this one is the one that this morning.
Again, looking back, view the Winter Canal. That's one of the loveliest sections in St. Petersburg. All right. Now, the Neva River starts in Lake Ladoga. That's the biggest lake in Europe. Ladoga. It's big in size, and it's very deep, and it's tidal. So the green and white color building, that's the Winter Palace. Originally a home of the Romanov ruler, modern Russian song called Katyusha, which is a diminutive of the Russian name Kate, Katya. It's a love song of the time of the World War II. And the melody has become so popular that
they have interpreted it into a more popular beat. And in this new version, the song is known as Kazachok. Well, looking left, you can view two symmetrical yellow and white color buildings. The one on the left-hand side is decorated with the national flag of Russia, which is tricolor white, blue, red flag. And the second identical building has got a white flag with a blue cross at the top. That's the flag of St. Andrew. And in the middle, between the two identical buildings, you can see a spire with a model of a sailing ship at the top. The spire and the two identical yellow and white color buildings are the Admiralty. The Admiralty is a long building in Russia that associates with the Navy, has got a flag of St. Andrew. When establishing the Navy, its founder, Tsar Peter I, introduced rooms where the floor, the walls and the ceiling are decorated with beautiful, beautiful blue and white original Delft tiles. And look at your right, you can view Senate Square. That's where we stopped earlier during the day, and that's what it looks in the evening from the water. The child Pushkin made the statue bronze horseman. So looking at the back of the boat, now you get a wonderful view of the silhouette of the bronze horseman. And as we have noticed from the earlier sightseeing, the horse of the bronze horseman is trampling a snake, a big, big serpent. It represents evil. Snake in any Christian culture represents evil. So the allegory of the snake is evil. And one of the two common interpretations suggests it represents Peter's opposition, those who disagreed with his ideas and reforms. And the other interpretation suggests it's Sweden, because the Russian Tsar fought Sweden for 21 years.
Tại vì nó là big city.
Thấy một nhìn trên cái building à, dễ sợ không?
Ngày xưa nó cũng dữ ha. Cái architecture của nó khác bên kia. Là ba đứa mấy thằng này
chưa. Để mấy thằng này.
Cups and big cups.
Not done yet. You want more or not? You want more or not?
Để dưới sao vậy? Để còn còn yeah, I still want it. I still have it.
Throw in the water.
Cái đó cái gì bẩn đó?
Cái đó là cái church gì đó.
Đẹp quá.
Looking left, you can see the point of Vasily Island, which for more than 100 years was the port of St. Petersburg. So that's where it's got a sculpture group representing Neptune. That's the original, the early stock exchange of St. Petersburg. Now there's the Central Naval Museum. Yeah, and now the sky and the sky, well, the fortress on the left-hand side looks very dramatic because of the light, because it's the time of the year, the time of the day, and because of the dark grey sky in the background of the spire. Now, when in Russia, everything, everything that looks gold is Peter and Paul Cathedral. So the spire is 122.5 meters. And a section next to the spire, the one in the 19th century, all children survived or lived through their infancy ages. So then they grew up, they married, they also had lots of children. So by the 1830s, 1850s, the Romans had become big family. It made the Tsar commission an addition, a Grand Ducal Chapel. It's under restoration now. So this ugly scaffolding on the right from the cathedral, that's the Grand Ducal Chapel under restoration. Now in front of the spire, you can see a tower. The wall of the fortress has a tower decorated with a flag, which looks very similar to the British flag. It's the same color, grey and pink color marble. That's the original marble palace, presented by Catherine II to her favorite Gregory Orlov. And here's one of a group of individuals who forced her husband.
Yeah, sometimes I put lunch in here. Yeah, see here? You see my lunch, my coffee here too. Yeah, right. Because they can take it away because see?
There's a lot of zipper inside.
Zipper, yeah. Better than you carry your bags or something.
One can touch everything.
Nhiều khi ra điểm được nữa, chỉ phần tại mình đây không lâu, thấy không? Mình đây không lâu, chắc có mấy Tết gì thôi.
Statue of the bridge, that's the highlight. The four equestrian compositions, most beautiful. And represent breaking the whole a man. Each composition represents a different stage of breaking of a horse by a man. The folk tradition suggests to call the bridge an estate. It was a palace and estate. This is about 2 kilometers away from the Winter Palace, and until the 1800s this was part of the wealthy section of St. Petersburg, lined up with the estates, palaces and mansions. So the property on the right-hand side, the yellow building, belonged to the Sheremetyev family. The original palace of Tsar Paul I, and it was built from 1796 to 1801, and Tsar Paul, so he remembered that prediction. So late in his life, we're in church and watch your head.
Watch your head.
We are in the Moika River, and the river on the river intersecting with the Moika River is the Catherine Canal. Yeah. So view the colorful tiled and gilded domes of the Saviour's Church in the Spilled Blood. Watch your head. Watch your head.
Oh,
Low bridge.
oh, low, high ridge. Oh, that.
Chuck lived. He's the one who initiated the referendum to change the name back for St. Petersburg. And we'll be staying under the light. It gets at midnight
10
in June.
p.m. but the light still
In
on.
June.
We don't need
June midnight like this.
Yeah. 10 p.m. right now. 10 p.m. But no electricity, but still had the sunlight here. Very beautiful.
Làm cho giống như Việt Nam vậy hả?
Von Freunden, da steht drauf, nettes Beisammensein, da bringt jeder was mit. Solltet ihr mal eine Einladung zu einer Promi-Party bekommen, macht nicht den gleichen Fehler. Bringt niemals zu einer Promi-Party einen Nudelsalat mit. Das Schlimme, es ist wirklich passiert. Ich stand da mit der Schüssel in der schönen Zellophan oben, muss ja frisch bleiben, ne? So, ich stand da die ganze... Вода в Черном море в районе Сочи порядка 28 градусов, а в Сан-Ремо и Сан-Тропе всего около 20. В Санкт-Петербурге временами слабые дожди, днем до 24 градусов тепла. В Москве на 1 градус теплее, а днем скорее... Poppen und gepoppt werden, ich habe es selber erlebt. Nein, ach... Man muss sich das mal überlegen, selbst der Kellner...
About 7 o'clock a.m. in Russia, St. Peterburg. At sunrise. Seventeen cities and a time here. the hotel we stay tonight. Four-star hotel. $6:40 a.m. That hotel we stay. This tiếng Nga on top, the Russian language on top, name I don't recognize them. That apartment building near the hotel. Very old building. chung cư near apartment, near hotel. Too far out to the market. Đi freedom như vậy.
Đứng đi em chụp cho, đứng đi em chụp cho.
Ok.
Xoay lại đây em chụp cho cái này là cái nằm này nè.
Đem thằng nó đi coi ballet đó, phải đến đây phải coi ballet, mà không coi ballet rồi nó cùng join cái mua cái ticket đó theo.
Tại vì nó nói chắc hết.
Thì đồng ý nhưng mà nó vẫn coi, tại vì ballet là cái đến đây không coi ballet là nó miss.
Nó nói khó, nó nói khó mua ticket lắm. Phải reserve trước, nó phải nhờ bả reserve đó. Giờ anh chụp cho em cái tấm hình đằng trước này. Mình trước khi ấy mình cũng biết rồi, đi theo tour là vậy thôi.
đây là trường Nghệ Vân này. Về này không cà phê không có số gì. Kia no that. You're not smart than me do. I travel all the world.
Thấy người ta cũng đeo ví đeo bóp chứ. Hai đứa đó nó pê 1.900 á, $1.900.
Oh yeah.
Từ Joy từ Berlin á.
Ôi sao rẻ ta? Sao rẻ gì? Mình cũng Joy từ đó sao kỳ vậy?
Thank you. That's not very nice. Nhỏ nó nói that's not very nice because it's on her way anyway.
Đúng rồi.
You know, so we don't have to spend walking 45 minutes. Nó nói từ hotel mà quắt xuống cái chỗ đó đó, xuống cái thuyền á, chỗ mà cái dòng sông là 45 phút. Nó nói that's okay, we just take a walk.
Đi không? Không phải được đó.
Sambalica nè.
Hả? Ồ, cái là gì?
Sambalica đó.
Ồ, chỗ quá đó hả?
Dạ. San Isaac Capitolo. Nó nói anh vô trong coi được, nó muốn vô không?
Ok, ok. Hấp. Hấp. Đây chị Phật đây.
mà cái bà này hôm qua bà nói trên thuyền á.
Sao?
Stroganoff á, là cái thằng này nó là beef stroganoff á. Đó là mới biết là cái món beef nó là từ đây nè, chứ không ai ở Mỹ không.
Đúng rồi, có đường này lớn nè.
Nevsky Prospect mà em nhớ vậy đó. Cái thằng đó nó ở khách sạn ở bên Pháp cũng trả $100 thấy không?
€100 hả?
€100 ừ.
Ồ, đắt quá trời.
Yeah, nó nói mà we are right in town. In Central thì giống như hồi năm ngoái mình đi đó. Mình cũng trả €100, €100 nhớ không?
The largest street in Russia in St. Peterburg.
IG Life à?
Là gì?
Cái company Life Insurance đó.
Nhưng mà thôi đừng có nói cho biết thì cái làm cái trip mình mất vui phải không? Gặp nó ấy, cứ tầm mình đi.
Kệ đó, ai muốn làm thì làm, nói gì đâu đi. Nói chết đó, you keep it for yourself.
Ồ, cái này gì không phải có này không?
Chắc Lenin quá đâu.
Này hay nè. Nãy cái đi ngang đây, qua cái đi ngang đây ta.
Có, hôm qua có.
Có chứ, phải có chứ. Đặt lên the tour. Đi hả? Đi hả?
tomorrow morning đó, bà nói đó, cái tour vô trong này nè. Dám không chừng em nhìn coi nha, để ý có thấy cái Trafalgar bus là của mình đó. Nếu mà mình thấy mình hot lên ở đây thì lucky us. Bà khỏi pick mình up from hotel. Ồ, nhưng mà bà cũng phải về pick up mấy thằng kia. Đi theo tour là đương nhiên là mấy cái hình cơ xanh là nó chạm. Để chụp gần không có chụp gần.
Chụp đi. Để đến quay ha.
Mấy đứng nha.
Đúng rồi, vô ngang kia. Đằng kia dòng sông đằng kia phải không? Phải dòng sông đằng kia không? Đi theo dòng sông thì đi thẳng luôn.
Tự tự như là Thái Lan ha.
Đi không bao giờ đâu. Bán thứ mình tính mua nãy đó.
Đây là quát về đằng đó. Đi lít up được sát đó, đi lít up được sát.
Saint Peterburg, nếu mà không đi ở đâu biết hết được. Đâu chứ nào?
Đây nè, cái palace này đó. Bây giờ cái Winter Palace mình phải đi qua cái arch nhớ.
Chỗ này mát này.
Cái bùng binh cả San Isaac Church, cái bùng binh. Cruise nè, Princess Cruise à bạn. Hôm qua cái bà đó mới đi đó, Princess Cruise đó. Bà Việt Nam á.
Đây mà nó nói. Cái thằng nãy đâu? Thằng này. Hop.
Hai cái gì nè?
Chụp nữa.
Lighthouse á.
Này lighthouse hả?
Được nhưng mà
That's it, we're going to see tonight.
Los completos son los semáforos de...
What does it say? Is it one floor, one
First floor.
first floor? Is it 15? This one? So we are in the first floor.
First floor, first front row.
Marisa todavía no llegó. Hiện tại gần cái ghế mình là thâu cái đường đưa lên nhắm nhắm nãy nó để ngoài trước rồi dấu không after the show when the show start no.
The way up giống như O'Brien in Paris.
Did you find your seat yet? What's your number? Mine is
I think they said your entrance is probably on the other side.
Did you find your luggage?
Because you said this is vacant.
Maybe by the end of the trip, it's still not even show up. Huh? What? Okay.
Anh chưa có anh này nào.
Coi những cái quyển này đó. Mình nghĩ nó tới, con xoăn lách nó tới hoài.
Xoăn lách cũng hãng cũng có đi thôi.
Director 70 này. Nó quảng cáo nhiều lắm mà, quảng cáo nhiều lắm. Nó xuống vào Performing Arts Center hoặc là nó xuống Los Angeles.
Nhưng mà qua đây nó hay hơn.
Так отвоевал, естественно, СВП, народ начал это вправлять. Человек Баку, пожалуйста. Баку, пожалуйста. Нет, может, они жили. Ну, может. Yeah, get that some coffee.
Well, I need to check them out. Find out what the Saturday completely different seat and there's been something.
I don't know. Come on.
They make the presentation. Chân